This is the main thing I'm covering in this video, but we'll come back to that. Hello everyone, this is the LEGO Creator 3-in-1 Haunted Mansion set. It has 736 pieces with 4.5 minifigures, I'd call it. And I paid $90 US for this. It's 90 euros, 80 pounds UK, or $120 Canadian. In this video, we're going to be looking at the main model build, which is the one that everybody cares about, but it is a 3-in-1. They also have this. I'll talk about it, but I'm not actually going to build it because honestly, these alternate builds, this one too, are just not great. This main build includes a gate, which can be opened, but it's just its own separate thing. I'm going to focus on the meat and potatoes though. I want you to understand what this set is all about and what it really looks like, as opposed to what you see in the pictures. Obviously, it's completely open around the back, but looks nice from the front and from the sides. Like, this is a pretty camera-friendly angle over here, and this is a pretty camera-friendly angle over here. You know, it doesn't have any just blank areas of unpainted walls, so to speak. Right in the middle of the upper floor is a small 4-stud wide build of an organ. Got a couple of spooky candles on the side, and this just has a single bench where you can put a single minifigure there. You can technically put a minifigure over on this side, though there's nothing really for them to do other than look out the window. And over here, you've got a brick-built little ghost. I'll show you a special thing with that as well. Just a small chest of drawers, and you can't really fit a minifigure over here. On the lower floor, you have a couple of hats over here, which are references to older spooky things from LEGO. And once again, you can like have a minifigure standing right there, and you can have one standing back there in that dark corner. There's nothing else going on in that dark corner. Here you have a couple of printed, sorry about that. These are nice individual unique prints for the paintings right there. Have a bit of a stoop right here when you first walk in, and then you have to kind of step down quite a bit. And over on this side is a nicely built up little grandfather's clock with a small, very basic action feature from the outside where you can make that go tick-tock, which isn't the most spooky thing because that's what they're supposed to do, right? Make the pendulum swing, but you know, it's a nice little thing. And then continuing back around to the outside, there's a small graveyard area right here. And I don't think that's supposed to represent an actual skeleton leg. I think that's actually supposed to represent a hand that's coming up through the ground. You know, somebody's about to rise up. You have a little bit of porch here. You can put a minifigure back along that. I mean, just barely enough space. I actually do like the stairs here in the front. Windows are boarded up and stuff. You know, good amount of detail there. You've got a spooky tree out here, which has an interesting different build for how they did some of the branches there. And I can easily see converting that over to be a little bit less cartoonish, you know, change out the style of the eyes. And then we saw this already, but what I didn't show you was this. There's this gear here, and that's another little mechanism. And here's what it does. So you turn that and you see the ghost through the window. That's it. That's it. You turn it, you see the ghost. Ghost goes away. Ghost come back. Ghost goes away. Ghost comes back. You know, it's kind of cool. And then closing the loop there on the inside, behind is just a little table that has a gem on it, the red gem there. So that's what's being swapped out. And now for the real big reveal of this, because you can close it up all the way. And that's when it shows you how small this thing truly is. Look at how thin it is from the side. See, now it's fully enclosed, which is nice, but is it $90 nice? We'll come back to that, but I really wanted to show this without spending too much time. You know, we went through the details and everything, but this is the real key to me because this is the entire haunted house, with the exception of the gate, which again is just something that just sits outside a little bit awkwardly and hides some parts that will be used for the alternate builds. The details here are nice. The way it comes together is nice. I like everything about this. My only question is this worth $90? You see, this is the inspiration for this. This is the Monster Fighters Haunted House that came out in 2012 and cost $180 US at the time. Adjusted for inflation, that's approximately $250 US today. This one came with more minifigures, a little bit more in the minifigure department, but I think that they scale pretty fairly as far as, you know, looking at the value. But again, I have to ask the question, is this worth 2.5 times this, right? This is a little bit more than 2.5 times the price adjusted for inflation of this. Does that seem fair? Now, obviously, I can do this and make this one look bigger. This one did have a gate, but this had a larger gate as a separate thing as well. This one opens up, right? Oops. We've seen that. opens up a little bit. This one opens up a lot. And this was a full modular sized building with 3 floors to it, and you could put figures all throughout there. This is 250. This is 90. Is the 90 worth it here is the question. Is it a worthy successor? I think that this is a worthy successor personally. And look, this one had a plain side over there, not so camera friendly. Hey, this one's good all the way around. I do think that this is a worthy successor, and I do think that this deserves to be on the market. I think that this is a good thing. I think that just the fact that it's smaller than that doesn't make this worse. Definitely not. But the value, once you show things in proper context, not trying to show the most expanded possible form of it to kind of trick your eyes, well, it just raises questions for me. Here's a look at the first few figures from the new set, and these all look good to me. It's the first time we've gotten the spooky ghost in quite a long time, surprisingly long, and it has an updated shroud with a little bit of a fold around the back. It has a matte finish to it now, and updated material. It actually glows pretty well. It also has a mini peg hole on the top, so you could actually add accessories to this. Underneath, it's just a plain white torso, set of legs, and a plain black head, but that's good. The vampire looks great. The hair looks good. I like the graphic design work, and look at the print of the skin tone, which is white, against the dark red right there. It's opaque. It's very bright. It's not 100%, but it's definitely well within the range of acceptable. It's well within the range of what we would consider to be premium, good quality, just like hundreds and thousands of other companies are able to print onto plastic just fine. This is more proof that Lego is able to do it as well, even though they often don't. They often give you really poor quality, really low opacity. More proof, once again, that they are capable of doing it. Alternate face over here, which includes the different color of eyes, which is not fully enraged. A little bit of print around the backs of each torso. Set also comes with an updated werewolf and just a basic skelly there. I think that the quality of graphic design on this werewolf is nice. It's very sharp. I think going with all gray straight through looks pretty proper. I don't know. I just like it. Obviously riffing off of old figures. You got no head underneath there, nothing to see, but I did want you to see the rest of the print for the torso that was partially hidden. Yeah, just really good work on the graphic design there. Some tears going down into the legs. Good print even for the belt right there. So all in all, good figure. The teeth also have good definition. The separation between them is done with that fine black line, and I think it's done well. These are the leftover parts after building the main model that uses all the official pieces. And that brings me to the first alternate model, which gives you a steam locomotive with tender, and it's intended to be floating because it's supposed to be fully haunted, almost like a ghost train, or possibly literally a ghost train. And there's a small platform built off to the side. When you look at the details of how the locomotive is put together, and you can see the main drive wheel over here, how that's approximated, how the rest of the wheels are approximated throughout. It's a stretch. It's pretty basic. The most interesting thing here is just how they attach the cow catcher on the front at a 45-degree angle. You have some nice piping detail around the outside, but when you look at the photograph of the thing, it's okay, right? It is an alternate model, but I don't think many people would want to build that. You can't even make it go, right? It doesn't even have wheels that turn, much less go on a set of tracks. Platform is just a platform. But yeah, there's a reason why I'm not going to do an entire video about this, because I would have to take apart the entire main model and then rebuild it into this, during which time I would not be able to do the next review video that you want to see from me. And then the same thing goes for this as well. This, I think, actually looks a little bit better to me than the train, which is weird because I like trains. I'm biased in favor of trains, but this is just more interesting to me. The ghost pirate ship, I like what they did for I'm kind of showing the skeleton of a sail there. It actually has a superstructure in the back. I mean, the way they put an anchor on it, like, it's pretty clever. Does not use all the pieces by any means, but I think it's, once again, a worthy build. I just wanted to see also what's inside of the cabin area. It's not a lot. And once again, I come back to this, or depending upon how you want to look at it, this or this, costing $90 US, 90 euros, 80 pounds UK, or $120 Canadian. And adjusted for inflation, this, with a bigger gate and its figures and stuff, more figures than this, is worth about $250, just simply adjusted for inflation. And I think that this should have been more like 60. I think I'd be more happy with 60 for this. I mean, even that's pushing it. Even that's being, I think, kind to Lego and understanding their need to make billions, plural, of dollars of profit per year. You know, just considering that it's very, very premium sewer downpipe plastic that they use, ABS pellet, standard stuff that's very, very cheap and premium. I mean, just trying to be as nice as I can and as reasonable as I can, and recognizing the fact that Lego's always been expensive. I mean, $250 in, you know, equivalent for this. It's just plastic after all, just a simple basic plastic, mass produced by robots in mostly low wage countries, but by robots where the wages aren't paid to robots anyway, you know. Still, like $60 is what I would like to see for this. 70 is, I think, the highest, just about the highest that I can imagine for it reasonably. And, well, you know, it has 736 pieces. I'm not a big fan of looking at the price to part ratio, but for folks who do like to look at the price to part ratio, there's something for you. Overall, good set though, as a small set. If it was reasonably priced, I'd be really happy with it. Good figures, like really nice. I like it like this, honestly. I like it closed up. I think that this is just so cool. It's just compact. It has all the spooky vibes. It has a certain realism to it. Has a certain Tim Burton-esque quality with how, you know, skinny and tall it is like this. I actually personally like it better like that, but you do have the ability to open it up, make it look larger from one side at least. Even around the edges there, it still looks good. And around the back, well, interior exists. There's just not much that you can do with it, honestly. Those are my thoughts overall. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and then, of course, the alternate builds, kind of meh with this one. That just happens sometimes. You know, sometimes Creator 3-in-1s give you great alternate builds. Sometimes they miss a bit. It's hard to do. It's hard to do official alternate builds. Mock makers can do alternate builds all day long, but they don't have to deal with the many, many restrictions that Lego has of needing to make their sets, their builds and the build processes very, very extremely easy to follow for anybody who has no experience with Lego and with a good, consistent amount of durability usually as well. So yeah, I understand it's difficult, but yeah, the alternate build's not so great. But I hope that this video brought you some value. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your support. Thanks especially to all my Patreon members and the channel members and the Twitch subscribers who've helped to allow me to review even as much stuff as I still do to this day. It's restricted. I have to be very careful with, you know, what I do buy, but thank you for your support through some tough times for me. And I hope that I can keep bringing you content that is, again, of some value to you. Bye for now.